let's see how this goes. Hey there, Duff here. Welcome to my garage. We are going to be doing my first Tesla maintenance project. I've installed some accessories and everything, but believe it or not, my car has almost 10,000 miles. Actually, it might have crossed 10,000 miles. I needed to check. So I am going to rotate the tires. Teslas do not need a lot of maintenance, which is another great feature of them. You know, they don't need regular oil changes. They don't have a bunch of fluids that you have to change out, or belts, all that kind of stuff. The primary thing that most owners have to deal with is tire rotation and washer fluid. And that's it, really. So we're going to do both of those today. So to do the tire rotation, I'm just going to do a simple front to back, back to front rotation. Ideally, I would probably prefer to do a rear cross rotation. I believe the way that works is you take the back tires and you move them to the front, but the front tires move to the back, but you cross them at the same time. But to do that, it's kind of difficult with one jack. I'd have to have like basically the whole car jacked up at the same time to do that, and I don't feel real good about that. So we're just going to do a front to back rotation. In order to do this, I did buy a new floor jack, a low profile floor jack. Right there's my existing floor jack. Because of how low these cars sit to the ground, it was recommended that you get the low profile jack, and that jack's quite old, doesn't work so well. And I also do have these pads that are designed for jacking. This is actually something I bought off of Etsy. Some guy basically takes hockey pucks, puts a rubber washer or grommet on there, screws it in, and it becomes a inexpensive Tesla jack pad. So I'll be using both of those things. So since I do have the hubcap delete kit, I'm going to have to pull off all of the wheel caps here, go from there. Actually, what I need to do first is unbox my jack. Oh Lord, that's heavy. Oh my God. Oh. All right, I'm old, so I like to sit on things when I'm doing work like this instead of down on my knees. So we're just going to take all these wheel caps off for now. They pull off very easily. Center cap should be able to stay on though. Okay, so to break these free, I have my DeWalt 20-volt impact wrench. If these are torqued to spec, it's at like 129 pound-feet of torque, so these should be kind of tough to get off. We'll find out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen them this side while it's on the ground. I'm not going to take them all the way off. I'm going to loosen them, and then once I get jacked in the air, it'll make it easier. So let's see how this goes. This is a 21mm socket, by the way. Whew, it had to work hard to get that off. Wow. It's crazy that an electric tool can have that kind of torque. I actually have an air wrench, but my compressor isn't strong enough, so it's kind of worthless. But this impact wrench has been incredibly good. They are loose. I'm going to repeat the same on the back. Okay, so like I said, this is a homemade jack pad, but if I don't know how well you can see this, there's these holes right underneath here. They're designed that the little nub goes in there, and then you jack from that point. The reason they want you to do it that way is so you don't risk damaging the battery in any way. So got that in there. Let's see. I'm thinking what's going to happen is when I jack this up, both wheels should come off the ground, I believe. So let's see what happens. Just trying to get this pad centered on the jack. There we go. All right, I have tons of clearance with this low profile jack, so it's nice. This is a 3-ton jack, by the way. Front tire is way off, back tire is starting to come. All right, back tire's off the ground as well. All right, so you never want to rely just on a floor jack to stay in position. Some really bad things could potentially happen. you know, if you had a leak in the hydraulic pressure on the jack. So I'm going to put some jack stands under here just as a precaution. Okay. All right, so we're going to zip these off the rest of the way now. Let's see how the tires look after 10,000 miles. Okay. Comes off nice and easy. Okay. Let's take a look at that tire. Wow, that looks really good, doesn't it? Hardly anywhere at all. Wow, that looks great. All right, let's go to the back. Thumbnail. If you're interested in an impact gun like this, I'll put a link in the description below. Had this for a couple of years. There's been nothing that it hasn't been able to break free. All right, let's see how the back tire looks. Oh. All right. Once again, that looks pretty good. You know, it's not like I go around doing burnouts or anything, so I would expect the backs to have maybe more wear on them than the fronts, but again, looks really good. All right, so we're just gonna roll this out of the way. Wow, they have big disc brakes in the back, don't they? Those are quite big. Considering with regenerative braking, you don't have to use the brakes very much. That's the biggest disc brake I've ever had on a vehicle of mine. Let's take a look in here. If anything looks cool. Looks very clean, as you would expect. It's not like I'm dirty Tesla, you know, driving through dirt roads every day. Looks very good. Well, that's interesting though. Missing fastener right there. Oh, and another one missing. I think I might actually have some of those. Yeah, check it out. I do have some. I don't know that they're the right size. I guess we'll find out, huh? I don't even remember what I got these for, but... Oh yeah, well... Yeah, okay. We'll see if it stays. It might be a little small. All right. I mean, not that it's a big deal, but it is odd that they were missing. Okay, so let's move the formerly front tire onto the back. I've rotated quite a few tires in my day. You know, when you're doing this on a truck, those tires are quite big and cumbersome. Doing it on a car usually isn't too bad. So what I'm going to do is get these started. I'm going to use the impact gun to snug them so it's seated firmly, but I'm not going to tighten it all the way while it's in the air, obviously. Yeah, like as soon as I hear the first hammer, I'm backing off, and I'm trying to do a star pattern around the wheel. Okay, back on. Let's move back to the front. Same deal. Wheel is securely attached, but not torqued to spec, obviously. We're going to take the jack stands out. And now try to slowly lower the car back to the ground. That's one of the problems with my existing floor jack is it wasn't very, there we go. It wasn't very good at doing a controlled descent. The valve would like stick, and then you relieve it, and then the thing just would drop all of a sudden. So that's never a good thing. Yeah, that worked really good though. Nice. my jack pad is jammed in the hole. Working out. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit these harder with the impact gun, pretty much bottoming them out. But then I'm going to take my torque wrench and make sure I'm right around 129 foot-pounds of torque, which is a very high torque figure. I think in the past, usually like lug nuts that I've done are like 80, 90 foot-pounds, so 129 is a lot, but got to do what they say, right? All right, here's my torque wrench. I have to remember how it works. This isn't like one of those nice snap-on digitals. This is like an analog style, but let me refresh my memory. All right, basically there's a snap ring that you just keep rotating this up until there's a little like laser etched scale on the handle. So you just keep rotating it up until you hit your spot. All right. Okay, so once we hit 129 foot-pounds of torque or thereabouts, you should hear a click. Like that. Wow, the impact wrench got it almost right there. I'm not having to put a whole lot on here. Just make sure I'm right. I think I had it set a little bit low. Let's try this again. Should be right around 130-ish foot-pounds of torque. We'll do the same thing in the back here. I'm just curious how close we are already. Trying to be careful not to hit the paint, because this is right next to it. Man, according to the torque wrench, the impact gun got it right up to that torque specification. I really hardly had to do anything on there at all. All right, so we're doing the other side. I don't feel any need to duplicate instruction. It's the exact same thing, but I'll be back to put some wiper fluid in. It's crazy. This side is missing the same fasteners. There. And I think there's one on the top here too. I don't know, I guess the day that this Model 3 was built, they were running short on fasteners. Very strange. Okay, tires on this side again looked great. Very, very good. I've heard stories on the forums about people saying that they're burning through tires after 15,000 miles or whatever, less than 20,000, and the way these look, I certainly don't think that's going to be the case for me. So I don't know if those people are just really aggressive drivers or what the deal is, but my tires look pretty darn good. I don't think I've shown this on film. This was my big Christmas present from Cindy, a Husky like mechanic style tool chest. Very cool. Great work surface here. She bought the accessory to give me a pegboard up top, so a big improvement over what I had. There's also a power outlet on the right-hand side that I've set up. And my brother bought me this for Christmas. Eagles Toolbox, very cool as well. Okay, so all that remains is for me to add some washer fluid to the car. Now, I just popped this off just to show you. Some people don't realize how easy it is to get to like things like your 12-volt battery. Yeah, this car does have a 12-volt battery, like a regular car, sort of. It's hidden underneath this panel. It just pops off. Right there's the battery. Right here is the washer fluid fill, and I assume That's brake fluid, I would imagine. Sure looks it to me. So yeah, that's the way you get to that kind of stuff. But most of the panels here under the frunk are just pop in. They just pull out and snap back into place. And I'll put you over there so I can demonstrate. Works better if you have it lined up. All right, so back in place. So right here is your fill for your washer fluid. So I'm just going to, I believe I have some washer fluid around here somewhere. Hopefully there's not official Tesla water fluid or washer fluid. I have just some generic stuff that I've used in my other vehicles. So we're just gonna, well, I have a funnel. I might as well get it right. Why risk making a mess? Let's see, which one should I want to use? Spider webs everywhere. Okay, we're going to use a funnel, but we're going to fill it slowly. You can't really see a lot of cars, you know, when you're adding washer fluid, you can see the level on the side of the tank. I can't do that here. And I actually want a light so I can see if I'm getting close. I have to admit this is a bit of a pain because I have no idea how full or empty it is. Just curious if I pop this off, if I can maybe see the tank a little bit. Okay. Yeah, down. That's the tank. But it's it's kind of opaque. You really can't see shit, so it doesn't do you much good taking that off. Let us continue. Okay, there we go. We are almost, there we go, all right. You just have to kind of fill at a moderate pace so you don't have a geyser of washer fluid coming out. See that? There you go. Perfect. Okay, when you're done, you have it all back together. It should look something like that. My fireman tag actually was shoved underneath when they did my HomeLink install. For some reason, the technician didn't bother to put the tag back out. Even though most fire departments, I'm sure, know what the deal is. What this is it's an emergency cutoff. If there's a fire, they would pull on this. It leads to the main disconnect, and it would quickly cut power to the rest of the car. And don't forget, when you're closing your frunk, 2 hands on either side of the Tesla logo with even pressure. Otherwise, you risk bending the aluminum hood. We don't want that to happen, do we? Okay, there you go. That wraps up my first ever Tesla maintenance, which was, like I said, rotating tires and adding washer fluid. Super simple, nothing really earth-shattering about doing this on a Tesla other than making sure you have those jack pads. Having an impact wrench is a big help, and of course a torque wrench to make sure you get them torqued to the proper specifications as well. But yeah, easy peasy, no problems. And also a disclaimer, of course, I am not a mechanic. I am a DIY guy. If you look at my channel, actually, the videos that have the most views by far are videos where I take on various automotive projects. For some reason, people like watching me struggle to do it, because it usually is a struggle. But this was not a struggle. Pretty straightforward. So anyways, hope you had a great New Year celebration. I'm looking forward to another 10,000 miles on my Tesla without any further maintenance. And if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, there's lots of Tesla content, lots of other style content here as well. You never know what you're going to get. But if you are interested in the channel, please think about subscribing. If you're going to subscribe, you might as well hit the notify bell, which is over here somewhere. Ding that notify bell. It's amazing when I look at my stats on my channel how big the percentages of people that watch the videos that are not subscribers. That really surprised me. So yeah, think about subscribing. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts below. I'm sure there'll be people in the comments that say, oh, you did this wrong, you did that wrong, you did the other thing wrong. I'm sure I did, but end result seems good. So that's all I have for you for now. Till next time, Duffman out. Yes, one of my other to-dos for the weekend is to do a proper solar, whole house solar update. But the Cliff Notes version is, so far, it has sent 488 kilowatt hours back to the grid.